The little girl on the phone thinks I'm her father. I don't feel safe anymore. Morning, Dad. The little girl on the phone sounded so excited, so sickeningly sweet, but her tiny voice was wreathed in static, like she'd called from the middle of a lightning storm. Gently, I explained she had the wrong number. Nut was all she said before hanging up. I set the cordless phone back in its cradle on the breakfast counter, my fingers tingling as though a mild electric shock just passed through them. 4 days later, all around the house, the landlines got set chirping. There were 3 in total. I marched along the side of the bed and grabbed the receiver off the table there. "Hi, Dad," the girl yelled, voice bursting with joy. I could almost hear her smile through the receiver. It was infectious. Like before I explained, she probably got some digits mixed up. "You are my dad, silly," she said with a giggle, like this was an inside joke. "Tell mommy I hope she feels better." Now that made me pause. What did? How? Before I could get my question straight, from over in the ensuite bathroom, I heard a steady stream of half-digested avocado toast collide with a toilet bowl in a wet splatter. As I rushed over to help, my wife, Alex, clung to the edges of the seat like it was a life raft. One shoulder massage and a glass of cold water later, I left Alex and went and scooped up the phone. Before I could dial 1471, the speaker screeched. Chills raced along my spine as the sound rose and fell in these quick, staggered heaves before tapering off. Must have been a bad connection. The switchboard's automatic response indicated our most recent caller was my sister-in-law, who'd rung the previous evening to talk about the upcoming baby shower. Weird. How did the mystery girl know about the morning sickness? And why withhold her number? Was one of my dumb friends playing another prank? Is Freddie gonna be okay? Our anonymous stalker asked during the next conversation. Several days later, in the lounge, I was on the sofa giving our golden retriever his ear medication. My fingertips, now twitching with energy, tightened around the keypad. Yep, the medicine's gonna make Freddie all better. What's your name, sweetheart? I forget. Click. I set the phone down, my hand all shaky. The joke had officially stopped being cute. Somehow this kid always knew what we were doing. How? Despite my suspicions, I couldn't help but find her endearing. She always sounded so eager to speak with me, like she craved a strong parental figure. Somebody who never raised their voice. Next time she called, I planned on tracking her down. That way I could send social services over to make sure everything was okay with her home life. A few weeks later, right as Alex's due date loomed on the horizon, another transmission came through. "Tell mommy I'm super duper excited to meet her." This was my chance. "I will. Tell me, pet, where are you calling from?" "The other place." "And where's that?" "I don't know." "Well, how'd you get there?" "I was in a puddle and it was so cold and I was crying because I was alone. Then I woke up here." My stomach tightened. "Uh-huh. And what does this other place look like?" "All black and spiky, but I'm in the bright part now." "Is anybody there with you?" There was a short pause. "Only Mr. Bones, but he's gone now I think." "Who's Mr. Bones?" "He's like a bloody skeleton with a creepy smile, and he's got all these parts missing so he crawls around. He's so gross. I don't like looking at him. I hate him." Goosebumps marched up and down my arms. My friends would never pull this sort of prank. "Is Mr. Bones with you now?" "No." He kept laughing and I got scared, so I ran until it got really bright and I could see you clipping Freddie's nails. "That's how I knew you'd be a good daddy, because you take really good care of him. So I stayed here. I can't wait to meet you and mommy and Freddie." Click. There came more of that jarring static, spewing out in waves. I held the telephone away from my ear, the entire left side of my face numb. Now I'm not saying I believed in reincarnation, but I almost did. And, really, would it be so terrible if the whole experience turned out to be real? If you ask me, there's something beautiful about the idea our children choose us. See, my own folks never really developed a knack for parenting. Once, I got a 49.50 on a tough math exam and sprinted straight home, excited to tell my mom, who just looked at the paper, stone-faced, and said, "What question did you get wrong?" Ever since Alex surprised me with a pregnancy kit, I had wasted countless nights having a staring contest with the bedroom ceiling, my nerves eating me alive as I agonized over what might happen if the baby didn't like me. If these calls were real, the kid already adored me, and it wasn't even born yet. Mounted on the lounge bookshelf there was a framed photograph shot with one of those old school box cameras. Alex as a youngster with long blonde hair, looking over her shoulder at the lens. She was at a beach, perched on a rock, in a Little Mermaid t-shirt. This became my mental image of the girl. Already I couldn't wait to arrive home after work, or pick her up from school, and have her rush over and greet me with a mini attack hug. Maybe I could even get her into fantasy books and video games rather than develop a lifelong obsession with all things Disney, like her mother. Because my better half didn't share my passion for the supernatural. She once called in a priest because a scented candle toppled off the lounge bookshelf. I kept these conversations to myself. Worst case scenario, it would only pile on even more stress and anxiety. Best case, she'd second guess her decision to marry a paranormal obsessed moron like me. A few nights later, all 3 phones chimed in perfect unison. While Alex grumbled about strangling whoever ruined her beauty sleep, my hand reached out and answered on the 5th ring. Still flat on my back, I said, "Hello?" A hideous screech made me rip the receiver away and sit up straight against the headboard. "Daddy, help." "What's wrong?" The line went dead. "Hello?" Deep in the house, the kitchen phone spoke up. "Who is it?" Alex asked, still half asleep. Flying past the door, I quickly explained it was an important work call. I barreled down the stairs, through the hall, into the kitchen, and pummeled the answer button. "Hello?" Mr. Bones found me. He brought the dark place with him. The girl's voice sounded even more remote than before, and now the temperature was plummeting all around me. My palm, raw and numb from the cold, struggled to maintain its grip. "Where is he? Can you get back to the bright place?" "I'm scared," she said, her voice dwindling into a droning dial tone. after which the lounge phone blared. I was through the door in a single breath. Halfway across the room, this giant gust of energy crashed against me. It hit hard, flinging me into the bookcase in the corner. I slid to the ground, bringing down every shelf along the way, books and picture frames and scented candles collapsing on top of me. Half buried beneath the heap, I craned my neck so I could survey the empty space, silent except for the continual ringing. What the hell was going on? The shattered photo of young Alex landed inches away from my outstretched hand. My gaze whipped between it and the phone several times. Still winded, I crawled along on my elbows and knees toward the cabinet, spider walked my hands up the side, and reached across the top. Ashley, can you hear me? I sputtered into the phone. Consciously, I'd never called the girl Ashley before, but a long time ago Alex and I agreed if we ever had a daughter, we would name them after my late mother-in-law. Daddy, I'm scared. Her muffled voice was lost somewhere beneath the waves of static. Where are you? Are you in the bright place? Mr. Bones is so angry, she whimpered. He said he's gonna hurt you if I go back there. Tell him I don't care, I said, the words coming out as a growl. Straight away that static blared, and I knew it instantly for what it was, a hideous screech of laughter, climbing higher and higher like a jet engine spinning to life with so much force you feel it deep in the pit of your stomach. Around the room lampshades started swinging, doors opened and closed, vases toppled onto the ground, and a radiator sputtered and hissed. I pushed myself to standing. You couldn't have kept me down even if you threatened me with a tank. Tell him you're here and you're with us. Find me. Find the right place. Another screech rang out, loud and fierce, and then a darkness washed over me, flooding my veins and cutting me off from the world. It was as if I'd plummeted into a mineshaft. Ashley, can you hear me? Heart pounding, I forced myself to stumble around all but blind, that invisible pressure squeezing tighter and tighter, giving me some idea what fighter pilots must feel like when battling centrifugal force. As the laughter roared in my ear, more grating than a chainsaw, the pressure built up in my skull, and that cold, it was crippling. Ashley's voice broke through when I finally found a spot where the connection must have been strongest. Over by the window. I see you, she screamed, the warmth of her voice making my throat swell with relief. Come to me, come to the bright place. The screech dwindled off as she yelled, I'm here. A soft caress stirred the hairs along the back of my neck. Ashley? The phone coughed, choked, sputtered, and then spat out a low-frequency hum. Within seconds the temperature returned to normal. Ashley? From upstairs. My wife called my name. I raced up there. Alex was standing beside the bed in a pink nightie, her right hand pressed against her stomach. As I burst through the door, she said, honey, I think it's time. Time for WH. Before I could finish, Maya landed on a wet patch on the floor, directly beneath a fuzzy pair of Minnie Mouse slippers. Oh, baby Ashley was born 7 pounds and 2 ounces, in a delivery that went about as smoothly as you could reasonably hope for. The baby looked like a clone of Alex, right down to the button nose. I, admittedly, let out a giant sigh of relief when I saw she didn't inherit my angular vulture beak, as the kids at school called it. Straight away I felt the connection. There was no doubt this child chose us for parents. The nurses at the maternity unit couldn't stop fawning over her. Countless jokes were made about how they might never let her leave. Everybody was so smitten. The whole drive home, questions about what might happen when Ashley grew up cycled through my mind. Would she remember echoes of our previous conversations? Would she speak in the same sweet, endearing voice? I was so delirious with joy, in fact, that I didn't notice Buster not jumping all over us the second we strolled through the door, like he always did. No sooner had we laid the baby in her crib and Alex went down for a well-deserved nap did the phone speak up again. He tricked me. It was Ashley. But how? She was so hysterical I struggled to get a word in. Darling, calm down. Tell me what happened. He tricked me, she said, through tears. Who did? Mr. Bones. He came into the right place. Like before, that awful, chilling sensation flooded my veins. Almost off balance, I squeezed the receiver tight. Ashley was still in the dark place. Still trapped. Behind me, an animal mobile spun directly above the crib playing a soft, 2-note chime. Slowly, carefully, I shuffled toward it. Through the phone, there came a heart-wrenching sob. Sweetheart, don't panic, I stammered, my breath suddenly misting up again. I'm sure everything's going to be okay. No, it's not. Ashley cried, as I peeked over the edge of the crib and looked down at the baby. The corners of its mouth curled into a grin, and then more of that chainsaw laughter rang out. I swallowed a gulp. Why not? Because Mr. Bones is the one who got to go with you and Mommy and Freddie.